Can Apple really surprise us this time? That's what a lot of people are asking after new leaks surfaced, hinting at a completely different design for the iPhone 17 Pro. When early rumors started making the rounds, many were expecting a horizontal camera bar, something like what we've seen on Google Pixel phones. That would have been a bold move for Apple, stepping away from their usual clean and minimal approach. But now, updated leaks are showing a very different design, and it's creating a lot of buzz in the tech world. The latest images reveal a large rectangular camera area on the back of both the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. While the three-lens setup remains, the layout has been changed quite a bit. The cameras are now arranged inside a wide, almost edge-to-edge module. This gives the phone a much bolder appearance than we're used to from Apple. Some people are excited about the change, thinking it looks modern and fresh. Others are unsure, especially because the spacing between the cameras, the LiDAR sensor, and the flash looks a little off. This unusual layout has left many people wondering if these images actually show the real design. Apple is known for being secretive with its prototypes and final designs, so leaked renders like this always leave room for doubt. But when different sources start showing similar images, the chances of them being close to the real thing go up. Still, it's important to remember that these leaks could be based on early versions or raw design files, not the final polished product. Something that stands out in these images is how the components on the back of the phone aren't arranged very neatly. For a company like Apple, which usually goes to great lengths to make everything symmetrical and balanced, this looks a little messy. That's another reason why some believe this is still a work in progress. Apple rarely shows anything half done, and the company is well known for its attention to detail. So, why would Apple consider such a change? One possible reason could be the rumored camera upgrades. There's talk that the iPhone 17 Pro might feature a new 48-megapixel telephoto lens, replacing the older 12-megapixel one. That's a huge upgrade on paper. What makes this even more interesting is the possibility of a 10x lossless zoom, thanks to a periscope-style camera. This would put Apple on par with some of the top Android phones when it comes to zoom performance. But adding a feature like this comes with its own challenges. More megapixels usually means smaller individual pixels, which can lead to weaker performance in low-light situations. Apple could solve this by using a larger image sensor that takes up more space inside the device. To make it all fit, the company might need to rotate the lens system horizontally. This kind of internal change could explain the strange layout we're seeing in the leaks. That means the new design might not just be for looks. It could be necessary to make room for upgraded hardware. Even though the current leaked images don't show the clean, refined look Apple is known for, it's likely they'll fine-tune everything before launch. Some fans are hoping for something even more drastic, like a horizontal camera bar that runs across the top of the phone. That kind of design could make the phone more stable when placed flat and would help it slide more easily into a pocket without a bulky camera bump. No one outside of Apple can say for sure what the final product will look like, but these early signs suggest the company is planning something different. Are iPhone prices about to shoot up in the US? That's what a lot of people are asking after a new wave of tariffs shook up the smartphone world, and Apple might have just given us a big clue about what they're planning to do. Over the weekend, Apple stores across the US were flooded with shoppers. And no, it wasn't because of a new product launch. According to a new report from Bloomberg, people rushed in just to check iPhone prices. Why? Because of concerns that President Donald Trump's new tariffs on Chinese goods might cause Apple to raise prices on iPhones very soon. Now, here's the tricky part. Apple has two options, and both come with big risks. Option 1. Absorb the cost of the tariffs, which would hit their profits hard and likely send their stock price falling. Option 2. Pass the extra cost on to customers, which could make iPhones way more expensive. Neither move is great for Apple, and some kind of middle ground might be their only real play. Right now, the tariffs on Chinese imports are already high, but there's talk that they could go up by another 50%. If that happens, the total import tax on Chinese goods would hit 104%. That means iPhone prices in the US could nearly triple. To make matters worse, China isn't backing down either. In response, they've said they'll fight to the end, which isn't exactly reassuring if you're planning to buy a new phone soon. What's really surprising is that this all happened during what's usually a slow season for iPhone sales. Most people wait until September when the new iPhones come out. But now, even those who were holding off for the iPhone 17 are jumping in early and buying iPhone 16 models just in case the prices rise. Apple seems to be aware of the urgency too. Reports say that during the last week of March, they flew 5 planes full of iPhones from China and India into the US, according to senior Indian officials speaking with the Times of India. This move helped Apple stockpile devices before the new 34% tariff kicks in on April 9th. And as long as Apple is selling from that current inventory, prices can stay the same, at least for now. For customers outside the US, especially in places like India, there's no plan to increase iPhone prices just yet. But if the tariff war keeps going, even that could change. So what's Apple really planning to do when the stockpile runs out? Bloomberg says Apple might try to keep prices steady by cutting the cost of making iPhones. How? By asking their suppliers to lower the prices of the parts they provide. That would help Apple protect its profit margins without charging more customers. If Apple really is doing that, it's a strong sign that they're planning to pay most of the extra tax themselves, at least in the short term. But again, if tariffs keep rising, even Apple may not be able to hold the line forever. And here's something else to think about. Starting April 9th, the US is also placing a 26% tariff on imports from India. So Apple doesn't have many cheap routes left when it comes to getting iPhones into the US. If you're thinking about buying an iPhone, now might be the time to make a move. Once the current stock sells out, prices could change overnight when the new shipments arrive and get taxed. Let us know, would you still pay full price for a new iPhone if it went up by hundreds of dollars, or would you switch to something else? If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Apple and the smartphone world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Would you travel halfway across the world just to hold the next iPhone in your hands months before its launch? Well, if you're that kind of Apple fan, you might want to book a flight to China. That's where one store is already letting people feel what the iPhone 17 series will be like. How? They're using 3D printed dummy models made from leaked CAD files, showing off the brand new shape, size, and design of Apple's upcoming iPhones. These dummy models come from some very reliable industry insiders who've shared renders and files that match what we've been hearing for months. And now those same files are helping Chinese retailers give their customers a hands-on sneak peek. According to reports, these models are even being placed in colorful protective cases, giving a more complete picture of how the real iPhones will look and feel. But this year, it's not just about the look. Apple is changing things up in a big way. The iPhone 17 lineup will feature something we haven't seen in years, an entirely new model called the iPhone 17 Air. This version is slim, stylish, and clearly made for people who care more about how their phone feels and looks than anything else. It's set to replace the iPhone Plus, which never really caught on with buyers. Remember the iPhone Mini? That was also replaced by the Plus model a few years ago, but neither of those ever became very popular. It seems Apple is now trying again, this time with a slim model instead of a small or big one. If the Air version of the iPhone 17 sells well, you might be looking at a permanent addition to the lineup. And don't think Apple's the only one trying to go slim. Samsung is also jumping into the slim phone market with the Galaxy S25 Edge, which is expected to come out later this year. Just like the iPhone 17 Air, this model will likely be aimed at people who want a sleek phone without giving up too much in terms of performance. But back to the iPhone 17. Other than the new Air model, one of the biggest design changes is the camera island. Leaked renders show that the Pro models are moving toward a new look that's closer to what we've seen from Google's Pixel phones. It's larger, more defined, and may house upgraded camera hardware as well. And if you're wondering what all this means for regular users, the answer depends on what you value most. If you like trying out new designs and want something that stands out, the iPhone 17 might finally feel like a true upgrade. But if you're happy with your current phone and don't care too much about size or shape, then this year's changes might not feel that important. The good news is that the full reveal is getting closer. Apple is expected to announce the iPhone 17 lineup this September, just like it usually does. So unless you really want to take a trip just to hold a plastic dummy, it might be worth waiting a few months. Still, it's interesting how far some fans and retailers will go to get a preview of what's coming next. 3D printing, leaked files, hands-on dummies. It shows just how strong the iPhone hype still is. Would you ever fly to another country just to see the next iPhone in person? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel for more updates like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.